All right. Welcome to Unfiltered. This is a side note. If these unfiltered videos are making a difference in your life, please share these videos with other people. Please press the like button and please subscribe to this channel. It helps me out tremendously. You know, maybe you're at this point in life where you are reflecting back on all that you've been through. You've learned from your mistakes. You've learned from the foolish choices maybe you've made in the past. You've learned just because life is such an ultimate teacher on a daily basis. Now you're looking at who you are now and you're evaluating what you are and what you have become. You're defining yourself differently than you defined yourself in the past. And then you're also looking into the future to see, based on what I know now, what do I need to do so I can get to where I need to go? Where am I going? What does my future look like based on what I know right now? I've learned from my mistakes. I'm growing. I've defined myself differently. And now I'm looking to the future. And a lot of the mistakes that you have made, and especially that I have made in my life, and I know you can relate, have been about the people that I have chosen to be around and the relationships, whether friends or intimate, that I have allowed to be into my life. And I want to start with this understanding. If I am broke and I don't have any money and you need $50, well, then I cannot loan you and I cannot give you $50 because I don't have any money. If I don't have any money, I cannot give you what I don't have. And I think for so long I didn't see this and I didn't understand, but you have to understand if you are in a relationship, whether a friendship or whether it's an intimate relationship, whether it's someone you're in partnership with in business, if you are around and in connection with someone who does not have any love inside of them, then they cannot give you what they do not have. I think for many years, we have all found ourselves frustrated because we had these expectations on people to give us something that they couldn't give us because they don't have it to give. If a person around you is 100% selfish and self-centered, and the only person that they think about is themselves, then they will never think about you, and they don't love anyone but themselves, then they will not be able to love you. And there's not one given moment in life, whether it be now or in the future, where they are going to be able to give you what they don't have. If I don't have any money, I cannot give you $50 because I don't have it to give. It's not inside of me. It's not something that I obtain right now, so I can't give it to you. Now, if I do have it, I can give it. If I had some money and you needed $50, then I can give it to you. Why? Because I have it to give. And you know, I think it's so crazy that sometimes we live life and we are just oblivious to what is obvious. We are ignoring that which is obvious. We are dating or in a relationship or possibly in a marriage. We're in a friendship or in a business with people that we already know they don't have any love inside of them. They don't care about anyone or anything except themselves. Everything they do is out of selfish, self-centered motives. And if you are in a relationship of any kind with these people, they are never going to be looking out for your best interest. They are never going to be caring or concerned about you because the only person that they care about is themselves. And if you have an expectation that they are going to one day care about you, that could be fantasy. You know, it takes a lot of courage to change, and many people never do. You can take a snake to church and you can baptize it, but all you get is a wet snake. You have to have self-reflection to admit when you are wrong. You have to have honesty. And many people, they don't live in a realm of honesty. They only think about themselves, and they will pull down and take down anyone who gets in their way. And they might have words that seem loving, and they might have the appearance at times that they are a loving person, but their actions over time repeatedly prove otherwise. And it is your job to use wisdom and sound judgment and recognize who are the people that you are around. Have you been in a relationship that you should have walked away from years ago? If you're in a relationship with a man who is beating you and abusing you, and you're waiting for one day when he's going to have some kind of life-changing revelation and actually start treating you correctly and loving you properly, maybe your expectation is false and that day will never happen. And now you're in a position where you have to decide, am I going to ride this out and just stay in this misery and be tormented and be rejected and neglected and hurt by the person who's supposed to love me? Or am I going to walk away, break free, and start over and go a new direction? See, if you're in a relationship that only lasted a few months, that's not so hard. If you've been in a marriage for 20-something years, that's a different story. You know, I know people who have had to make these difficult decisions, and there's no There's no universal correct answer for what you're going through. Everyone's situation is different. I know men who have decided to be clean and sober. They don't want to go back to prison. They don't want to sell drugs anymore. And so they had to evaluate, the wife that I've had all of these years, she's not going to change. She's going to stay doing what she's doing. And since I have changed and I'm going a different direction, in order for me not to drown and in order for me to survive, I'm going to have to cut her off, even if I've been married to her for over 20 years, because now that I know who I am and I'm defining myself differently, if I want my future to be different than my past, then I'm going to have to make decisions, some very difficult decisions, in order for me to achieve my goal. And if you are with the wrong person who is bringing you down, then they may always prevent you from achieving your goal. They may always paralyze your progress and prevent you from reaching the destination that you now want to reach. Maybe you have a heart of compassion for other people, and the person you're with doesn't care about anyone but themselves. Do you see how that water and this water, it's not going to mix together? Jesus said that fresh water and salt water, it can't mix. And so if you're constantly being bombarded by the negativity of your spouse or your friends, and they're always telling you you can't, and they're always in it for their own selfish motives, then you're never going to be able to reach the goal that you want to reach. I know some other, in the people that I'm talking about, they've had to make very difficult decisions because they're like, this is who I am. This is what I believe. This is what I now know. And the person I'm with, they don't believe that. They don't know it, and they don't even see me, because the person that they still want me to be is the person from the past, and I'm no longer going to be that person. So I have to walk away so that I can pursue something different and live a life of joy and peace. I'm not going back to the chains that have enslaved me. I'm not going back to the torment. And that means making very difficult decisions in life. So we are at this moment where we're looking at the past. We've learned who we are. We define ourselves differently. And in order to reach the goals of the future that we have now set for ourselves, we have to cut off certain people that are no longer worthy to be on this journey with us. They're no longer worthy to walk with us anymore. They were at one time because you were a different person. Now, I've also known people who have said, you know what? My marriage is worth saving. I'm going to apologize to my wife for all the mistakes that I've made. I'm going to go and make amends with my kids. I'm going to go and make this right. And over time, I'm going to work through this because she has the capacity to forgive me. Never stay in a relationship with someone who cannot forgive you for your mistakes. If the mistakes you have made are so big, maybe the relationship cannot be reconciled. Maybe it cannot be fixed. And if you stay in a relationship with someone who's constantly bombarding you, but it is evident that they have not forgiven you, they're bombarding you with all the things that you've done in the past and bringing it up, that right there, it will keep you in a state of misery. You have to evaluate for yourself about the relationships that you're in. You know the people that are around you. And if you haven't stopped and taken the time out to actually slow down and evaluate, let me look at this. Let me see, wait a minute. Is this worth my investment any longer? Or do I need to stop investing in it and going a different direction? Some people have to walk away from people they've been in their lives for 20 years. And some people have to go back and apologize and make amends and get things right. And it all is different for every circumstance. I cannot give you money if I am broke. If I have a heart of stone that is cold and you're wanting me to love you properly, then I'm never going to be able to do that because it's not inside of me. If the person you're dating is harsh to other people, always in a bad mood, treats people harshly everywhere they go, lies all the time, and you're still staying with that person, then you are setting yourself up for misery and failure. Now, that doesn't mean that walking away will be easy. Starting over is very difficult, but in order for us to achieve the goals of our future, it is also very necessary. You know, when you've cut off people in the past, friends and relationships, you find yourself in this position where you might be lonely for a period of time because you need to meet new people, and you got to go out and be consistent and show your face and be around new people so that you can start to develop a friendship. If you are looking for good friends, you yourself need to be a good friend. You know, so many people say, I need a good man or I need a good woman. And the first thing you have to ask yourself, are you a good man? And are you a good woman? If you want your spouse to be honest, are you honest? If you want your spouse to show you love, are you showing them love? You know, this is a two-way street in life. Never invest in something repeatedly where someone's not giving back. That's a waste of your time. There's a balance you have to find between blessing people and letting people run all over you. You have to decide, I'm going to help this person, but I'm not going to let them take advantage of me. And you know what? Sometimes we make mistakes. We choose the wrong mate. We choose the wrong friends. And now we're in this position right now. If you want your future to be better, you may have to make very difficult decisions. But I cannot have the expectation that someone can love me properly if they don't love anything at all. You know, I told you this before, but I sit back and I watch people. How do people treat other people? Are they kind? Are they compassionate? Are they encouraging? Or do they just smash on people all the time? Do they go to work every day and treat everyone harshly? You know, the people at your work that are in charge, are they mean to everyone who's on their team, or are they uplifting? Do they just point out everything that you do incorrect without ever giving you any encouragement? Or are they ones who lead by example, who show compassion and love and show up in a good attitude with a good spirit? You know, every leader is different. And if you're dating someone that you want to have kids with in the future, you have to ask yourself, are they going to be a good dad? Are they going to be a good mom? What is my life going to be like with them? And you get to watch them and see, this is a preview of what my life's going to be like. And you have to start making wise, sound choices so that you can better yourself and better your future. You know, sometimes we miss this. But narcissistic people, they only care about themselves. There are tormented, miserable people. And they go around and their goal in life every day is to make everyone around them miserable. You know, when you have joy and someone else is miserable, they can't stand you. They get irritated and frustrated with you. How dare you be happy? Don't you know I'm miserable? And since I'm miserable, you need to come join me in my misery. See, I cut people like that off. I have a destiny and a purpose. I know who I am. I have defined myself that I am a child of God, and God's love is inside of me, and I'm going to go around blessing other people and living life to the fullest and having joy, because in my past that was not the case. That's not what it was like. I had to evaluate, what am I going to do? You know what you've been through, and now you know who you are, or you are growing to learn and to become who you are, to actually understand. What do you stand for? What do you not stand for? What are your boundaries? How do you define yourself? And once you know how to define yourself and you know who you are, then you can start to evaluate who should be around you and who shouldn't. What you should be doing and what you should not be doing based on your identity. And you know, sometimes because we change in life, we grow and we mature. Some of us do. Some of us stay immature from the time we're born to the time we die. Just grown children. If you're dating a grown child and you wonder, why are they not treating me right? Well, that's because they're so immature. And as years pass, don't you understand, this person may never change. So if you are changing, you may have to make the difficult decision to walk away. Build new relationships. If the relationships in your life are not working, build new relationships. Now, let me say this clearly. There are some people out there that have unconditional love in their hearts. There are people that are loyal, that are true friends and partners. Good people to be married to, good people to be in a relationship with. I'm not telling you to go and burn down everyone in your life, because anyone who is loyal, who has compassion in their heart, who has your back, who is a true friend, you need to keep them and hold on to them with everything that you have. Don't just burn down everything. If you see someone in your life that has had your back, that is a true friend, that you know without a doubt loves you, then you need to stop today and tell them thank you. And you need to continue to cultivate a strong relationship with them, because those people are very important in your life. It is so amazing to be able to call someone that you know loves you and ask for their advice, and know that when they give you advice, it's always going to be solid because they love you, and they would never tell you to do something that would harm yourself, that would hurt you in the long run. I like it because sometimes people can call you on your mess, and they can say, hey, you know what? I think you're thinking incorrectly about this. And if you humble yourself, you can actually grow and change. And because you know they love you, you can listen to their advice. But if the people around you are only trying to use you and abuse you, they will never give you solid advice. Have you stayed in a relationship way too long that is damaging you, that is hurting your heart and your soul, that is damaging your spirit? That your self-confidence is non-existent because the person you're with keeps telling you all these harsh things about you, and that they hate you and they put you down and they beat you up. From these relationships, we must run. But the only people who can make those decisions is us. I am in control of my destiny and the choices I make. I'm in control of the thoughts I think in my mind. What am I going to do today? It all boils down to choice. And if God has given you some revelation and a clarification about something, follow his lead. He's not going to let you stay lonely. He's not going to let you stay alone. If he's removing someone in your life, just know he will bring in someone better. If you're cutting off people that you thought were your friends, God will direct your steps and show you how to be around people who truly are good people and who really will be your friend. Friends, like I said, my pit bulls at home are far more loyal than people are. You know, I think it's funny because they have this statement that say most people are good people. I disagree. Most people are not good people. Some people are. And it is your job to recognize those who are real and those who are fake. Listen to the words coming out of people's mouths. Watch their actions. If you listen to someone long enough, they'll tell you who they really are. If you watch someone long enough, no matter what kind of pretend show they're trying to put on, you will actually see if you're willing to look honestly. But sometimes we walk around with blinders. We're just oblivious to everything going on around us. And we wonder, why? How did this happen? Why? Because we were so busy focusing on other stuff, we didn't see that which is obvious right in front of our face. If the person that you're in a relationship with, of any capacity, if they do not have any love in their hearts, if they are not compassionate, if they are 100% selfish and 100% self-centered, they will never be able to love you properly. They do not have the capacity or the ability to love you because they don't have love inside of them. I cannot give you what I don't have. You need to surround yourself with people that are going where you want to go. If you have compassion and love in your heart, then you need to have a mate that has compassion and love in their heart. So that when y'all have children, you are raising children that have compassion and love. Because children, they don't just do what you say, they do what they see you doing. Children watch what you do and that's what they imitate. And if you are with someone who's so harsh and critical all the time, it's going to keep you in an atmosphere that brings you down. You ever had people around you get into an argument and then later in the day other people get into an argument because that anger, that it's an atmosphere and it spreads. The other thing that spreads is joy. If you show up to work in a good mood and you're telling jokes and you're working hard but you're joking around with the people around you, then they're also in a cheerful, good mood. You ever looked at the schedule and been like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I have to work with her again. She's always in a bad mood. See, she's always in a bad mood. See, it's okay to have a bad day every now and then. But if you come to work every single day in a bad mood, that's because you choose to. Joy is a choice, and so is being angry all the time. I can allow all these things to bother me so that I'm bitter and angry and I'm treating people harshly, or I can wake up with gratitude and I can walk around with joy. And we bring this atmosphere everywhere we go, into our homes, into school, into our work environment, into our relationships. And see, I have to be around people who think similar to the way I do, who want to spread the love of God to those around them, because life is very hard and it's very short. It's gone just like that. You only have so many hours in a day. You only have so much energy. You only have so much energy. You only have so much brain power and so much thought space in your mind. And if you are wasting it on things that are unimportant, then you're missing the opportunity to embrace and love and enjoy that which is important. These decisions that we make, they are difficult, but they are so worth it and so necessary. Evaluate who you've surrounded yourself with. Evaluate, is this person going to go with me on this journey where I'm going? Are they going to distract me and steer me off course so that I never reach my full potential? I don't really like the way this person is treating me, and they've been treating me like this way for too long. And you know what? I love myself and I love God enough to say, you know what? I'm worthy of someone who is actually going to love me properly. I am worthy of someone who actually cares about me, who actually respects me. But maybe you've been in a relationship for decades with someone who will never respect you. And yet you keep thinking maybe one day they will. Well, guess what? Maybe one day they won't. Maybe you've been believing a lie. You know, just because you want something to be true, that doesn't make it true. Just because you believe something is true, that doesn't make it true. So many people, I hear them arguing with such a strong fire about stuff they don't even know what they're talking about. They are speaking about things and it doesn't even make any sense. They want something to be true, and so they pretend that it is true. But just because you believe something to be true and desperately want something to be true, that doesn't mean that it is true. And sometimes the blinders come off and we see life as it really is, and we say, no, wait a minute. I have been investing in this and it's no longer worth my investment. I thought it was going to be something good, but now that I have it, I don't really even want it. Have you ever given so much of your time over to something, and then when you finally got it, you said, is this it? I don't even want this. I've spent all these years, all of this time, I've invested so much of me. And now that I have whatever it is you were chasing, I'm not satisfied with it. This is not what I thought it was going to be. Now you can ride it out, or you can make difficult decisions. Are you investing your time and yourself into something that is worthy of you letting go of, so that you can start investing your time and yourself into something that is worthy of you? Love yourself because God loves you. Make decisions based on the fact that you do love God and you do love yourself and you do love other people. And I'm not going to surround myself with other people who hate people and who beat people down, who are harsh and critical and angry all the time, because I don't want to be miserable anymore. I want to laugh and smile and have joy, and I have to surround myself with people who are doing the same thing in order for me to find satisfaction in life. Maybe you've been investing in something that is no longer worth your investment. Stop investing. Stop going this way and start going this way. And maybe you don't see the new relationship that you need to be in, but you need to end this one now so that you can be separated and by yourself so that you can start being around other people. Maybe you don't see the friends that God has for you right around the corner, but you're not going to meet them if you stay hanging out with these people. You're not going to meet them if you stay over here, because God really needs you to move over here. And the only person who can make that decision is you. It's all about choice. Rise up. Make the moves that make a difference in your life and in the lives of the people around you. Make moves that make a difference. Make moves that move mountains. Let the wisdom and direction that God has given you, use it to your full potential and say, now that I know this, now that I know who I am, then I've got to start making some changes so I can reach my destination and so that I can be happy and so that I can be surrounded by other people who are happy as well. If the person you are in a relationship with does not have love and they only care about themselves, they will never be able to love you properly. You should demand that people respect you and that they love you properly. You should demand that people see your worth. And if they keep beating you up and beating you down, they're not worthy of you staying with them. Rise up, smile, enjoy life. Use the wisdom that God has given you. Implement it into your daily life and see a great change. Have a great day.